All right, partners, keep on rolling, baby. That tells you it's time for the Triple Threat podcast this week. I am Alex Vaughn, coming to you from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I've never used a bidet. With me are Matt Vaughn and my brother Will Vaughn. So they're both my brother, actually. So
both my brother
Matt
there.
and my brother Will. I don't know if
they've used from the same mother.
Pro or con? No. Will? Bidet?
No. I've never been. Never been to Europe.
You've never been. All right.
No, never been.
Welcome, brothers.
Well,
what's going on this week?
What's going on this week? It's Monday, August 25th. Happy Monday. In the box office this past...
It's not. Reminder, it is not that day.
Yes, Monday yeah, it is.
It's not.
That we're recording this is Monday the 25th, and obviously every Monday... The weekend box office numbers are in. Typically, they're in Thursday night before the weekend even happens. But I think, gentlemen, we did a good job on this show. We actually scored a victory. All are talking about the excellent film If I Stay, which has been getting good buzz. If I Stay took down Sin City at the box office. In fact, a lot of movies took down Sin City at the box office.
I heard Sin City was bad.
They had.
I'm just seeing the numbers now. I just opened the morning paper and I'm looking at the numbers.
At least put a sound effect in there or something to make it believable. Also, you're recording this in front of a computer.
Sorry. It's an app.
You're recording this in front of a computer, so it's entirely believable. You're just on the internet.
I tried to make it seem like it was Monday morning. What do you do on Monday mornings? You
open the paper,
read the newspaper. Oh, if you're 60 or older, yeah.
Check the West Coast NFL scores.
No, I stay up for those.
You stay up for those, okay? What time does the Chargers Sunday night game end there?
Well, if it's a Chargers game, I'm not watching it. But if it's a good Sunday night game, it would be like anywhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. I want to say.
I watch every Sunday night game, regardless of who's playing.
No, well, I mean, here, because it ends so late, I mean, I usually do end up watching it anyway, and it's a primetime game, so it's usually good, but I do the Monday
Buccaneers,
night games too.
I'm staying up for Rams and Buccaneers. That's what I'm doing. I'm staying up for that.
Boy, I would not stay up for that. Rams got some bad news today. Yesterday.
Sam Bradford's out for the season.
Sam Bradford's out again.
Apparently the Rams have
he didn't come back from the injury.
Mark
He just
Sanchez.
played Nah, well, they had a press conference today where they're like, Sean Hill is our guy. And by today, I mean yesterday.
Obviously.
So on Sunday, Jeff Fisher had a press conference and he was talking about Sean Hill being the guy. And everyone was like, oh, this is exactly when Trent Green got injured and Kurt Warner stepped in. So, it's not always a bad thing. It just is a great percentage of the time.
They think history is going to repeat itself. It certainly isn't. Let's stay the course, though. Sin City, why do you think it did so poorly?
Sorry. Jeez.
Yeah, it's okay. This week we're going to try to take it back. Take it back. We're going to try to take it back to the task at hand. This is the On Point podcast, folks. The On Point Triple Threat podcast.
I don't know. I think why it did so poorly is it's such a long time between sequels or movies. Like the first one came out in 2005, I want to say, and this one came out now, so it's
it's
9 years in between.
It's been
There's
in
no
development
character.
for seemingly
There's only a couple
forever.
characters carry over, and it just looked fine. But I mean, how well did the other one do? Probably a lot better, but it wasn't really a box office smash. Did it? Okay.
It wasn't a smash, but Rodriguez makes movies. He makes movies
cheap.
that cheaply. Although I'll check bomojo.com and see.
But he just hasn't really had a hit recently, other than I don't know, Spy Kids. I have no idea.
Yeah, Spy Kids would be his most
Machete
recent
didn't do
success.
well, and something else didn't do well. He really once they had Grindhouse, he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to do this all the time." And even Grindhouse didn't really do all that well.
No, Grindhouse flopped too.
No, this is what I do now. And you're like, maybe you should chill out on that. They're going to stop giving you money to make movies.
And
then you'll be the rebel without a crew again.
So let's see.
I like Robert Rodriguez, but
yeah, I like him too.
You should be looking for the first one, I think. But
he's one of my
$74 million over its. Yeah, I made $29 million first week. The first Sin City, $158 million worldwide. Yeah, there's a lot of people in that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Well, one person who's not in it that somebody reminded me of,
a big fail.
He existed, was Josh Hartnett. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. I don't. Whatever. I guess his career just took a tumble after Lucky Number 11 or whatever.
I think Well, Lucky Number 11. Yeah, but I think he kind of withdrew on his own accord.
No
I think he
way.
Was. No?
You really think so?
I've heard he's in stuff still, but I think he's being more careful with his roles. He's just like, I've done things, I've made money. I'd rather just do what I want to do now. So that's what I heard anyway. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, no, that makes sense. And
I haven't talked to him recently.
Yeah, no, I sent him a text the other day. He didn't respond. I was like, hey, man, you dodged that bullet, and he didn't say anything. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have been nicer about it or something. I kind of feel like I put down his friends. I felt bad about it.
To who, sorry?
Hartnett. I was texting Josh Hartnett.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Will, could you drink louder, please?
That's just a swig of water for the working man.
That's a weird way to drink. You drink like St. Bernard.
I lap it. I take the tongue and just... Don't they just take the tongue and scoop it in their mouth like that?
Pretty much. Really quickly. You can't tell when you're going quickly, but yeah, in slow motion, that's what they're doing.
We've all seen the high-speed film.
Yeah, we've all seen the high-speed film of a dog licking a bowl of water.
Can I get some podcast corrections going on here?
Yeah, sorry. We have a few corrections,
talking
folks.
about if I stay in Sin City
from last week.
Topic.
Well, we went from if I stay in Spin City, Spin City.
Spin City. Oh, please, let's do a Spin City.
That was.
Podcast.
I remember that was your favorite show for a time, Matthew.
I definitely liked it.
Yeah. Hey, man.
8-year-old loving New York City politics sitcoms.
No, it wasn't when it came out. It was like 2000. I was like 10.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever. You were not. You would have been 12. Correction for next week. Matt was not
shoot.
10 in 2000.
Well, it's a correction right now if you're saying it right now. It's not a correction for next week. You're correcting
correction for next week.
It came
I'm
out
an
in
idiot.
1996.
It started in 1996.
It started in 1996. I went to 2002, and I'm pretty sure you didn't like the Charlie Sheen, Heather Locklear years, so you're much more into the Michael J. Fox.
Who was it? Michael J. Fox and who? Gina.
Alan Ruck was in it.
Yeah, hey, we saw Alan Ruck at the...
Jennifer Esposito was in it.
Jennifer Esposito, yeah. But
Jennifer Esposito, yeah.
There was someone nicer who...
Connie Britton.
Connie Britton.
Connie Britton, that's right.
Yeah.
Richard Kind.
Old Connie Britt.
And then Carter, the gay guy, who I can't remember the actor who played him. So
Carter, that's right.
Yeah.
She's had a heck of a career, this Connie Britton.
Yeah, she's doing okay for herself.
She's doing okay. Anyway, Matthew, you have corrections, which I don't believe is possible, but go ahead.
So, first off, this correction, I have to give a shout-out to our father, Dad, because, who art in Cole Harbor.
Who art in Cole Harbor.
I said on the podcast that Mike Myers did his Shrek voiceover work originally in 10 weeks, and we debated how 10 weeks is the same amount of time. Yeah. And I eventually did it in 20 weeks. Dad corrected me to say he did it in 10 sessions. Which, in a session I can imagine be anywhere between 5 minutes and 8 hours. So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, they probably keep it about 4 hours, maybe. I mean, that's how they do things.
You would know.
That's how they do things here. I don't know, but you don't want to be in a booth for 8 hours because minute 1, hour 1 is going to be a lot different than minute 59 of hour 7. You're not going to get some good stuff after almost 8 hours of just talking. Now, they could have spread out 10 sessions over 10 weeks, which wouldn't be that smart. But it's a movie that they made. How many sequels to? 5, 4 sequels, 12
at
sequels?
Least 4 ever, I think. They made at least 4 ever once.
Yeah, they made a lot. So,
and then this is something Alex said. I just want to throw this out there. Robin Williams did an impression of Jack Nicholson, and not Jack Nicholas, as Alex said.
I knew I'd say. I always say that wrong.
He did not do the famous.
I'm pretty sure he did the golfer/golf course designer impression. So
did he say Nicholas and we not catch him on that?
No one noticed.
That's all right. Alex, you know what? That's why you're the favorite. No one wants to correct you, man. No one wants to step up to you because you're too much the favorite member of the show.
I don't really think that's the case. I'm just not all that bright, and you guys are equally not as bright, I guess.
I caught it on repeat listenings.
Repeat. How many times
to this podcast? I listened to it once right now, and that is it.
Hi, me too.
I hate the sound of my own voice. Matt, how many times a week do you listen to this podcast?
Monday morning.
That's not important. No, I don't think I've ever. Is this a podcast? What are we doing right now?
Do you think people not believe us when we say we're recording?
I thought we were making
Monday?
a ringtone for our grandmother, but
does she listen to it? I'd be interested to know.
Hour-long ringtone?
She's never even seen a computer. No, she doesn't listen to it.
She's seen
shout
our
out
computer.
Shout out to Grammy.
Shout out to Grammy.
She saw the Hewlett Packard we had in '96 with the kid space screen. I remember that. I remember we had a science DVD. We had a science DVD about the ocean, and like this manatee came up to you, and he'd be like, "Hi, I'm a manatee. I used to be a boyatee, but now I'm a manatee." That's a little manatee humor for you. And there was another.
Say it like that.
He said exactly. Well, he said it more. Yeah, it was like, "I used to be a boyatee, but now I'm a manatee." And there was a game too where you went in the human stomach and you zapped viruses. And there's this game.
I remember that game. That game was awesome.
I remember
sure
Mega
this wasn't
Race
Magic School Bus.
and Magic School Bus.
Oh, Mega Race! I've been looking for that.
Mega Race
Magic
tripped
School
me
Bus?
out because it had actual like video footage of this host named Lance Boyle, and like it was the first. Up to that time, the video games we knew were like, Nintendo and Super Nintendo, like 16-bit, 8-bit, whatever, and like this had moving video, and I was like, wow, these are the greatest graphics ever. Playing Mega Race, which wasn't that good.
Nothing will ever top this.
But I remember we got our Hewlett Packard, and it came with like 15 CD-ROMs. It came with a ton of stuff. And I remember
the it comes with nothing. It's just a cable, and you plug it in, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to pay for everything that you would ever need on this." So,
and I remember we got our second computer when we finally replaced the Hewlett Packard, like 10 years later. Our second computer had 20 gigabytes of hard drive space, and we thought it was massive,
huge,
impossible to fill.
The first one had like maybe, I don't know, 256 megs. I don't know what it would have for a hard drive.
I think that second computer is where we finally got Napster and Kazaa and LimeWire, and we just downloaded a bunch of songs, and it would take a day to download it. Do you remember? Yeah,
songs. It would,
downloading songs.
You could download all of. You could download like a cut of Phantom Menace that was just the lightsaber battles all cut together
with Turkish subtitles.
Yes,
I think it's on YouTube.
That would only take like 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I remember at the beginning a song would be like, "All right, you're gonna get, I'm Blue by Eiffel 65. You're gonna get that in a couple of tomorrows." It would take so long.
A couple tomorrows.
A couple
just
tomorrows.
Called Blue, by the way. Correction. It was
a
just
couple
called
tomorrows
Blue,
is the
not
name
I'm
of the
Blue.
name of the next James Bond movie. A couple tomorrows. Are those the only corrections, Matt? We did everything completely 100% right last week.
I mean, you did not, but we don't need to go into that.
All right. Well, that's a personal attack. That's okay. We should have started this show out.
That sounds hurtful.
I forgot
I'm
that.
Just talking about the lack of Led Zeppelin trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
hardcore listeners are not too pleased with the Led Zeppelin trivia being Matt and our
it was
mother.
not me.
Mom was angry. She sent us. We get the most fan mail from
That's
her.
not the right word.
She was
I think
furious.
disappointed. Classically, she was disappointed instead of angry.
Furious with us. Just
Classic mom.
Sitting there, just vibrating.
Scotty listened till the end because he said it was nice to get a shout out, or someone told him he got a shout out in it. So at least we didn't lose our entire
One
listenership.
human being.
I'd like to rescind that shout out if he did not listen to the show himself. If someone just told him that he had a shout out.
I didn't say that's what happened. I'm
That
saying
seems
maybe
unlikely.
that's what happened. Scotty, you answer this in Twitter, unlike you didn't answer my Ice Bucket Challenge. So if you let us know if you listen to the whole podcast, or if
you know what, and I didn't respond to the Ice Bucket Challenge either. Alex,
let's talk about the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Are we done with that?
I want to.
Are we done?
No.
In general, with that.
No. It's still going. It's all over my
I know,
Facebook.
but can it be done? That's what I'm asking.
Why?
Yeah, why?
It can't. It hit.
Is it bothering
maximum
you?
awareness?
Right.
I think it's just kind of annoying. Like I'm just kind of tired of it.
Okay.
Well, it's everyone's got
you
their
do
awareness of it.
your thing, and we'll take care of the
I know that,
ourselves.
but it's just
and then you come to us later. It's raised like over $70 million for ALS.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's
I know.
the bottom
I said
line.
that. I'm just tired of it.
But okay, well, sorry, Matt.
I'm not saying don't donate it. Don't donate to it.
Tell all the ALS sufferers that
and
you're
don't edit
annoyed
this
by this
podcast to
computer
make
thing.
it say "Don't donate to ALS."
Alex says.
No, Alex, you had a very nice video, and you actually mentioned, I think the NFL Network, which I don't get, is airing it tonight. Was it Michael Gleason? You said?
Oh, Steve Gleason.
Steve Gleason. Oh, crud.
Gleason. So he was actually a special teams player for the Saints, and the year after Hurricane Katrina, so the year of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, I think they played in, I want to say, Oklahoma. I think they played in Oklahoma City.
Was it not Houston?
It wasn't Houston. Houston has a team.
No. But I know that. Wasn't it in Texas, though?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway,
correction.
And then, so the first home game back in the Superdome, he blocked a punt. And, like, the crowd, like, it was just, like, such a defining moment for the team and the city and everything, like, kind of coming back to that. So he was always, like, kind of known for that. And then, like, 2 or 3 years later, he's diagnosed with ALS. Or Lou Gehrig's.
Yeah, and I actually remember, too, I don't know if I saw, it might have been a portion of that, but he was talking to Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. Steve Gleason's a huge Pearl Jam fan, and he's like got to hang out with the guys. Yeah, and they showed this before for a game in like January, and yeah, it was really he's confined to a chair, and he has to basically speak through his computer, much like, if you can imagine, much in the way Stephen Hawking does now, right? Or has
and Stephen Hawking has ALS.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, he's okay.
So Matt, before you get. Anyway, I'm not gonna write it too.
Okay. Let me be clear about this, because I'm not saying I'm opposed to this at all. Just like, obviously, I'm not opposed to raising money for combating Lou Gehrig's disease at all. That doesn't. Okay. No human is opposed to that. Yeah. Never mind. But I'm just saying that I think we've reached peak ice bucket challenge. I don't think. After the first few days, I don't know if it beyond. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it anymore, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't get the point now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
didn't it go viral enough? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not. There's no one's putting a limit on virality here, I guess. So it just goes as it goes, and if people continue on doing it, it's going to keep on going. Like dominoes.
I mean, how do you end
falling.
something
so
like this?
It kind of was on the fringes for us, and you see it like celebrity, like Jimmy Fallon does it, or like the whole Patriots team did it, and it kind of goes along the fringes, and you're like, okay, I see it, yeah, and then it comes into like our quadrants, like, oh, our friends are starting to do, crap, I have to do it, and then I have to pass it on to somebody else, and then that. So I mean, I don't know if you can stop the virality of it. No one's going to stop it. But, it'll pass eventually.
I don't want to stop it. I'm just expressing. I'm just tired of it. That's all.
Yeah,
that's the extent of it. There's no reason beyond that.
Yeah. Okay. So like any viral thing, though, once it peaks, it's going to peter off.
Crest. Yeah. I guess
from here, it's
not just going to
videos. Like a wave.
Yeah, there's going to be
videos with it.
Yeah. Eventually, it'll hit everybody. And Alex, You sent a challenge to me, and I couldn't get a video done in 24 hours, and I felt
24 hours.
24 hours. I feel kind of bad about that, but like I said, once I got some money coming in, I'm gonna give him some bucks. I'm gonna slide some bucks their way, and I don't know. We'll see what this opens up for other, raising awareness for various causes.
That's the other thing with
God knows, there's lots of them.
I see. It does get some. It apparently doesn't matter what you do. You always get negative opinions on it, and not even like talking about what you were saying, Matt. Nothing about that. But people come on and be like, "I'm not doing the ice bucket challenge. That doesn't do anything for ALS. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna donate." But and you're like,
it's not
both.
Effective. It's obviously
and
super
just
effective.
Because I did it doesn't mean I didn't donate. I did donate. I will. I have a receipt. Says I donated. Wes donated to my old roommate and a good friend. Not a friend of the show. He's never heard it in his life, so he's an enemy of the show. Or
enemy of the show, but friend in real life.
Switzerland of the show. He's just totally neutral. But yeah, so he donated too. So and then you just kind of pass it on.
Switzerland of
but
the
some
show.
people, I mean, they're nominating 15 people. You're supposed to nominate 3 people and move on. I nominated 4, but one was a joke.
Oh, okay. I didn't really get that joke, so I'm glad you explained that.
That's
What was that joke from?
Thank you, Alex.
What was that joke from? From my ALS Ice Bucket Challenge video.
Okay,
That's
well, I don't know.
Alex
It's something
original.
you said. I don't know. Okay, it's an Alex original. I've been last night. I said, "What the heck?" I started to. I don't want to say binge watch. I'd rather say marathon. Happy Endings.
Binge watch.
The show that.
Yes. Oh, you're watching
there you
Happy
go.
Endings. That's so. And can I
go.
get your thoughts on it? I know the first episode you're kind of like, what?
No, I quite enjoyed it so
But-
far. I'm into the
Yeah.
10th and 11th episode of the first season, and I noticed they did something that I thought was kind of weird. They did the first episode, and then episodes 2 through about 9 don't really follow a certain order, and then 10 and 11 obviously should have taken place right after that first episode. I don't know if that's just the way Netflix has it or how they aired it. It doesn't bother me too much.
Can you go into more detail about that? I'm kind of
Okay, so in the first,
I'm kind of curious what you mean.
Yeah, so the first episode of Happy Endings opens with these two people are going to get married, and this guy comes in on rollerblades and says,
Like
"No, don't
they're
marry her.
in the
run away
middle
with
of
me."
a church. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole
They're
thing.
not
So
going
the
to get
show
married. They're
opens
in
up.
the process of getting married.
Okay, so it's at their wedding. So the show opens up at the wedding. This guy busts in and says, "No, come along with me instead." And he's on rollerblades, and she runs off with him. She says she can't do it, and the whole rest of the episode is like, they're all friends, but they're dealing with their friends' wedding kind of going askew. The next episode, they're all like, there's still some like weird feelings between these two people whose wedding went askew, but everyone's kind of hanging out and they're all right. So that goes on for about 8 episodes or so, and it's a sitcom, so they run into different situations. And then episode 10, it seems like it took place right after. These two
they
characters
started,
go
like,
after the
revisiting.
guy who broke him up at the wedding, and then the next episode. So I thought that was kind of odd, but. It's
You're right. I would assume
once you get a bunch of episodes of the can, it's whatever ABC wants to air, right? I remember it was an episode of a series that I did, and it was kind of like people were saying, "Well, this third episode is going to be make or break," and I'm like, and this is a show that had to air in order, and I'm like, well, the first episode isn't good at all, and then that show didn't last, but whatever. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. It's another story for another day. But Happy Endings, I'm about 12 episodes into the 57 episode run, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's fun. It is a show. You want to marathon watch it. You enjoy, and you enjoy the characters are all enjoyable, and it's
Adam Pally is
interesting
very
to
funny.
see.
Dame Wayans Jr. is very funny.
Yeah, it's interesting to see all these people who are like huge in comedy just do these little bit parts. Like Nick Thune will do a bit part, and John Daly will do a bit part. And I was actually watching an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm from about 2005. And it had Zachary Levi and Stephen Colbert and there's one other actor who's massive now, but they're just what's her name? Mike and Molly lady,
Channing Tatum.
Melissa McCarthy.
McCarthy. Yeah, she had a small part in Curb. Like all these people who
really?
were, Stephen Colbert has like a little part in it. All these people who are massive comedy stars now. Everybody starts somewhere.
I love
not
Curb
that
so much.
Curb, not that Curb is anything to sneeze at. I'm sure back in the day when they booked Curb, it's a big deal for them. But now, Zachary Levi isn't just the bellman at a hotel. He was Chuck for however many years on NBC, and he replaced Jason Lee and Alvin and the Chipmunks. That showed a huge following.
Yes.
Chuck. It was people were getting chucked up. People were getting chucked up on NBC. It's
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Again, if you're 12 episodes in, that's clearly you're not saying
since last night, that's
hunk of
pretty
crap.
good.
So I quite enjoy it. Yeah. Do you get that thing pop up on Netflix where it's like, "Hey man, you still watching this?" And you're like, "Shut up, Netflix. Just mind your own business."
I don't.
It's
get
like
that. Maybe
it's making sure like if you fell asleep or something came up, it'll pause it. But for me, if I'm watching like 4 episodes, 5 episodes, it's just like, "Hey, you okay, buddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's Sunday and it's raining. Quit asking me if I'm still watching it." Yes, I'm still watching.
I love the idea of Netflix like sending someone over to your house, being like, "This is an official
Hey,
Netflix
man.
guy. He's just here to check on you. If you need to talk to him about anything."
You okay?
And speaking of Netflix, Matt, you were flying through Breaking Bad, so you still where you at now?
I'm a breakneck pace. I just did the 5th season, first or second episode.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
When did you start? When did you start?
Just mainline in that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks. Like it's been.
But last week, like you watched all of season 4 this past week.
Yes, and it was delicious.
So I guess that's the one where it goes nuts. But for me, I'll finish it at some point. I just haven't found that hook that makes me want to just go, episode after episode after episode. I personally haven't found it yet. Everybody says nothing but amazing things, especially as it goes and goes. I will finish it. I don't want to speak of a show like it's a task that needs to be accomplished.
Yeah, well, I've always stated with that show, it's not like, say, like you watch the first episode of Lost and you're just like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? I've never seen that on TV before. Like, Breaking Bad is very unique and very well done, but it's not like necessarily an addictive show. Like, it's just a really, 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 really good show.
In my head, I wonder if it's ruined TV for me otherwise, because it's at a level that is just unparalleled, generally speaking, I would say. And it's funny, actually, something I discovered this past week, too, is with every episode of Breaking Bad, AMC released a behind-the-scenes podcast with Vince Gilligan and sometimes like Dean Norris or Betsy Brandt or
Hank. I love Hank.
Or like with like the directors and the creator, and like it's like at least half an hour for every single episode.
Hank is such a tragic character in that show.
Okay, I haven't seen all of it.
No, but
I do like Hank a lot.
Yes. Even where you're at now, he is. Like, just in general. Just much. Given the situation of he works for the DEA and...
It's good. Something about the show that I like, too, is, like, there could be a show out there where it's, like, a coincidence that he works at DEA and his brother-in-law cooks meth, but the fact that it's the result of that and he just kind of lives with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just great. Actually, I wanted to bring up another movie I saw last night. I'm not sure how it's related. I think it's just because I
had time for a movie after watching all that Breaking Bad?
No. I didn't watch one last night. But
what do you got time for that?
There's a movie that I wanted to see after the news about Robin Williams came out last week.
Yes.
A movie that I hadn't seen. I always wanted to get around to it, but this was a good excuse for it. The movie Insomnia.
Yes, Christopher Nolan,
Al Pacino. And Robin Williams.
Great movie.
Yeah, that was
really good.
12 years
old.
Based
off, I want to say, a Swedish film. It's basically a remake of a Swedish film.
I want to say Norwegian.
Yeah, sure.
I think I looked it up.
Something Scandinavian.
Something I've realized about Christopher Nolan, and I don't know if this is something your experience or not. I find when I watch Christopher Nolan movies, he's not super interested in making it clear to you what the characters are saying, if that makes sense. Like, the dialogue almost is secondary, despite it carrying some like plot driving aspects to it. Like, I watched some of his movies, and you're like, I didn't catch what that last guy said. Bane might be the most obvious example of it, where it's like, we don't even need to hear exactly what this guy is saying.
Yeah, even though they had him re-record all his dialogue in a booth so people could hear what he was saying and not use the stuff that he said on the set.
Even in Insomnia, it's just Al Pacino being like, wow.
That's not a Nolan thing. That's a Pacino thing.
That's a Pacino,
No, I know. He said, no, I was waiting for that. He gave me new. I love Pacino, though. Oh, my God. Al Pacino.
That might be one of his last good roles, actually, is Insomnia.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, other than 88 Minutes.
And Jack and Jill.
Oh, my God. What a great...
Triple Threat Podcast commentary for Jack and Jill coming up.
This is and that's Jack Nicholas or Nicholson? No, I'm just kidding.
It's Jack Nicholas and
but not really.
Jill...
Jack Gleason from Game of Thrones.
Leibowitz.
Actually, Jack Gleason was in Batman Begins also. Yep. Anyway, just go.
Insomnia is good, and people should watch it with their eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great...
Robin Williams, sorry, I should get to him. Robin Williams, really good in that movie. He's like the perfect... Robin Williams, I think, had the quality of you want to like him. Mm-hmm. And there's a creepiness to him that is so good in that movie. And he's like... during the movie, he's like, no, I'm justified in what I'm doing. And then if you watch it, you're like, no, you're not. You're just really creepy and really good at that.
That was his great gift. He's such a funny guy.
Really
he can also bring it right down. I mean, he's an Oscar winner for crying out loud.
Yeah, no jokes in that movie as himself though, which I like too. He was never funny in that movie, I would say.
Yeah,
well,
like I'm saying, he can be on fire and riff like crazy, and then he can really, he can really take the bottom out and bring it down to earth. That was really good. That was one of his great gifts. Is that on Netflix, Matt? Insomnia?
No, it's not. Unfortunately,
it's not.
I looked for it. I sought it out.
You went to Video Difference and picked it up.
something like that.
Just
yeah. Do you guys have
Yes,
you
that
guys
is
have
correct.
Redbox out there?
Oh yeah,
we do. Yeah.
I use the Redbox.
Yeah, you've used it before, haven't you? How's the customer service for Redbox?
It's fine. It's weird when you put the DVD back in. It's like, yeah, your return's processed. We're just putting this away. Could you just stand here while I put it away? And you wait there for like 2 minutes, and it's still going. You're like, well, what am I going to do if I can't put it back? Yeah. Like, what am I going to do if you can't find the slot for it? I'm going to leave.
You can't
now
reach inside and futz with the machinery. That thing's got to figure it out.
So anyway, I always find that odd, but yeah, actually, it's good.
We were talking, since we're a little bit on the subject, Video Difference is a rental place. You guys actually both worked at 2 different video rental stores, and renting movies in that format, it's kind of going away.
Across the street from each other.
It's like pennies now. Renting videos are like pennies in Canada. It's not. They don't exist anymore.
I've always bemoaned the loss of the video rental stores. Like, that was a Friday night. You go out, you get a couple DVDs, you get a bag of popcorn, and you're good. Some Skittles. You don't mix them together because what's wrong with you? But yeah,
no, Skittles and popcorn.
I've always bemoaned
peanut
that.
M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, and popcorn definitely do. I did it as recently as last week, and I actually won't do it for quite a while because I felt sick the next day. I'm listening to an Austin podcast, and he's talking to Vince Russo. And one of Vince's first jobs, he owned a video store, and this is how long ago he owned the video stores in the early '80s. But he was talking about how Blockbuster came along and put all the little video rental stores out of business. And now, today, here we are, 2014, all the Blockbusters have been out of business now for years and years and years. And I miss that. I miss the people going out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and, honey, let's pick a movie. What's good? And, the new one that came out this week is all taken.
Absolutely judging those people on their
just look at the stuff they rent.
Preferences.
Or they'll mention a movie.
Stealing Harvard, you're just judging them for taking Stealing Harvard.
They'll mention a movie they saw. It's like, oh, yes, we saw that. Yeah, good. We liked it a lot. It was really good. Uh-huh. Interesting. All right, let me just – here's your change and see you later. We were totally I wanted to
enjoy Too Fast, Too Furious.
I wanted to be like Randall in Clerks. I wanted to be that guy, or like Jack Black in High Fidelity. Those
High Fidelity.
Oh yes.
Who are just the guy's like, hey, do you have? I just called to say I love. He's like, oh yeah, no, we don't. It's like, is your daughter in a coma? There's no way she likes that song.
That's a great movie, man. High Fidelity.
Yeah, and then those people, the people you don't like at the video store, rent High Fidelity and bring it back 15 minutes later and be like, we didn't like it. Can we get another one? Just fuming behind the.
What are you
doing?
Yeah,
they just crap. They just like, I remember I recommended this couple. I'm gonna get mad talking about this, but they were like, we want something different. I was like, well, I got something different for you, idiots. I got this document. And listen, they rented this documentary called Spellbound, and it doesn't sound interesting, but it's about kids at a spelling bee, and it's fascinating. I was like, here you go, Spellbound, watch that, it's great. And they're like, well, and they come back 10 minutes later, like, we didn't like it, we want to write a normal movie. It's like, well,
how would they even have time? They put it in.
They lived at the RBC across the street.
But oh my god, still, you didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's garbage.
That's what makes me feel. Well, and we won't go back to our conversation about turning movies off, but I will say on Netflix it's a lot easier because you can just shut off your that movie on Netflix and then just scroll over one. I mean, look, Ian Hanlon, friend of the show, we both worked at that same video store. We worked at Rogers Video. Alex, you worked at Blockbuster Video, which was managed by one of the managers I worked with at Subway back in the day, which is really weird, but Calabar's a really small town. That kind of thing happens. But Ian and I are just kind of, when we moved out here, we would walk around the giant, we used to have a 3-story HMV on Burrard Street, which has become an underwear store. It's Victoria's Secret. Sure, movie. It's fancy, but it's the underwear store. Which movie? Were they shooting there when you were here?
No. But the one with
the spies,
Tom Hardy
and Chris Pine. Yeah,
what's that called?
This means war. This means war.
Spy Who Loved Me.
This means war. Is what it's called.
Yeah, Spy Who Loved Me. By the way, is very solid. Roger Moore 007 outing.
See, I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more James Bond movies on Netflix. I would like Netflix to
American
expand.
Netflix had it forever.
Ian and I, we would, we worked at the video store. So Ian, he can tell you how many movies he watched in the course of, a couple of days. People would, on his days off, he would rent, maybe 8 movies in a day because you're allowed to have 2 out at a time. And he would take 2 movies home and come back, and the people behind the counter who he works with would kind of, Ian, you're done with that already? He's like, yeah, I'm ready for these now. And he, that was the peak of his movie watching career. We would walk around the 3-story HMV here that isn't here anymore and look at all these movies that we wanted to buy. And we just we really enjoyed walking around. I enjoy still having a movie, in my hand. Even like these PS4 bundles that are out, which is like, you can get Last of Us. I always call it Left 4 Dead. Last of Us Remastered. Great, but it's installed on the system. Okay.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, it's not that. Yeah, it is weird.
I'd
rather have the physical
that
copy.
You the wrong way, and I agree with you. Yeah.
I'd rather the physical copy of the game. Although I do have some games on my the hard drive of on the SD card on my 3DS or on the hard drive of my Wii U or on the PS3 hard drive, and it's nice just to sit there and not have to pick up a disc and put it in. But I like having the actual physical copy. But Ian and I will sit on Netflix and just scroll through Netflix. It's the new channel surfing. I think I've said that in the show before. But we'll just go on Netflix and go crazy on that. And we're like, oh man, it sucks that you can't go out and rent a game or rent a movie anymore. And we're using the very thing that put all those stores out of business. But what are you going to do, right? You have to. We're not going to go to Redbox.
Well, there's no.
Although I wish there was a Netflix for video games, which I guess they kind of have because you can download demos. But years ago, I think one of the last things I rented from a Rogers Video was Arkham Asylum. It was the first Batman video game that came out a couple years ago, and Ian and I beat that in 2 days. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, video stores. Dad took advantage of it, or shouldn't take advantage of it, but he certainly enjoyed it. Alex, what was the rule at Rogers? You can have 2 things out at a time. What was it at Blockbuster? Like 12 a week or something?
It was 10 a week, yeah. And you couldn't have anything that was out for less than, I want to say, 2 weeks or something like that. Like, you could get a new release the week it came out. For us,
we had platinum new releases, which were like one-night rentals. Like, platinum. Like, Stealing Harvard was a platinum movie at one time.
That's crazy that you would, you had to invest so much time into that, too. Like you're going to rent a movie, you have to get it back the next day. That's another trip that you have to make.
Yeah, that's why these stores went out of business. That's
because the model is pretty.
And then they charge you when you don't, and then you resent them for it.
Hey man, you used to have to rewind. You had to be kind and rewind. That was a sticker that a company made. A company made a sticker that said "Be kind and rewind," and with a little smiley face on it. And they put it on every Blockbuster VHS. I remember I went to Blockbuster and I wanted to rent Mario Party 2. And buy a bunch of candy and play that, but I didn't have Mom's card, so I was just like, oh, yeah, I need a card. I was that stupid kid that nobody at a video store likes because these kids will come up to the counter and get clearly R-rated movies or something, and they'll give you the card, be like, oh, my mom says I can do it, though. And there'll be a note in the account, it's like, don't rent to their kids or make them pay the late fees or something. It was a good way to spend way too much time in my life working at that video store, and me and my friend Chris Bessie we made a video for the store that was on Quinpool Road, and I think I might have it on my PVR, my hard drive somewhere. This video that we made, and we would have testimonials from people down the street on Quinpool, and they were like, "Yeah, well, we drive past 2 video stores to get to this one, and one of them was Blockbuster, and the other one was Video Difference, and somehow Video Difference sat on Quinpool Road." Competed with Blockbuster and Rogers. The 3 of them all competed, and the only one that's standing still is Video Difference. I think that's kind of a sweet piece of justice right there.
Well, they did a good job as being very niche, too. Like, you can get every movie there.
Yeah, don't they have a list?
You go up to and write on there.
Okay, yeah, so you write on it.
You say, how come this movie's not here? And they usually just write, oh, it is. It's on the bottom floor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Usually
they just go through and explain
You're stupid. Figure it out.
Yeah. We don't have Land Before Time 20. Leave us alone.
Well, they should.
They probably should. You're right. I shouldn't give them a day off for that.
No, I still think about the inside of that video store, man. It was interesting. This will be something we tell.
I'm in charge of the days off, Alex.
Something we tell our kids about. I mean, like, yeah, back in the day, son, you couldn't just go to an app on your phone and watch every movie known to man. You had to get out of your house and go up to the store. And for a while, your Uncle Will and your Uncle Alex worked at this store. It was their job.
So are you just talking to my
Whose kid
children?
is this? Whose kid are we talking to?
Just my kid?
Okay, so let's be sensible here. Who's the first one?
Whose kid is this?
Someone
take responsibility for this
kid. You said our children, then you said Uncle Will and Uncle Alex.
Probably,
I think you're only talking about one fictional child.
I was thinking of a Full House situation where we'd be, I'd be Uncle Jesse. Or
all 3 of us.
Go up to Michelle and say,
wait, you think you're the Uncle Jesse of our family, not the Dave?
That's on Dave Coulier.
I'd be Joey Gladstone.
What?
Sure.
And Matt, you're a neat, dorky. Neat
I think Bob Saget in that show, contrary to his real life personality, is a very sweet guy and a father who generally cared about his kids. Had a decent job.
Worked as a funny video show presenter.
Yeah, he's on Wake Up San Francisco.
Wake Up San Francisco. I'm good at that.
Full House quiz coming next week. One thing I need to mention is the tides have turned in the land of WWE. We did mention that SummerSlam was a good show last week, and
what a great show.
I was correct.
Finally, that is not a correction we need to make. I want to. I finally crunched the numbers. Our predictions are in. All right. And I believe I came in last place. Only 3 of my predictions were correct. And Alex and Matthew, you guys both tied. You guys had 4 right answers each.
That's not very good.
And 8? We had one. We had one instance. So wait, doesn't Matthew have to have one right and Alex have to have one wrong?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're going to crunch the numbers there, Will.
I actually don't have any numbers.
I crunched the numbers. No, and by that I mean I didn't do that.
I'm saying if Alex went with us on the Ambrose-Rollins match and picked Rollins, he'd be first place with 5 correct.
Okay, yeah.
You're the only one who got Rusev right, and we... so a lot of titles changed hands. I guess it's a good excuse for them to put a new logo on the belt, even though Sheamus's U.S. title has a new logo on the belt, so I guess that one's not going away anytime soon. They presented Brock on Monday night with a new title, which...
What'd you think of the belt, by the way?
It's
pretty similar, except it doesn't say champ.
It's fine.
Right? I know. It's very similar to the current one.
Yeah, it's supposed to resemble like a championship ring, which I think they got that aesthetic down. But it's kind of too bad that title that they released a year and a half ago is February 2012, right?
Yeah.
February 2013. February 2013.
Yeah. It was super recently.
Not even 2 years old. So I kind of feel bad for all the fans who bought like that title. And hopefully they have a trade-in program where you can get the new title. But I'm looking up right now at the.
Hey, guess what? I guarantee you they're not doing
that. I know. I'm looking up at the big gold, and I guess that
have any money right now.
That title's just gone now. But I like the idea of having the one belt.
And now the WCW belt's gone now. The World Championship.
That is. We're gonna pour a 40 out for that one.
Yeah, and that lasted for about 12 years on Vince's TV show, which is kind of funny. But I like the new logo. Is fine. It's cool. It's kind of like where they put it on the screen, kind of bottom right now, out of the way. And it's fits the sleeker style of the show. They should have changed it a couple years ago, really, because the scratch logo was more Attitude Era for me. And I think
it was very
around 08 is when is when the blood stopped after the Jericho Shawn Michaels ladder match. So once the blood stopped, that's kind of when the PG era came in, and whatever. It's a logo. Who cares? I would have cared about it more years ago, but all the belts are different, and it's an exciting time. I think SummerSlam was the show it needed to be, and we'll see a rematch between Lesnar and Cena, and we'll see what happens there. Because I saw that Lesnar Cena match for the title. I've never seen a championship match like that ever, where it's been one side so dominant. I can't remember, and I've been watching wrestling for quite a long time. Can you guys? Is there a precedent you guys can think of that was set before this match?
Not in the modern era, short of like Diesel Bob Backlund at a house show at Madison Square Garden in '94 or '5.
And that was one move, though. I mean, this match, Brock,
this was a beating.
He suplexed him pillar to post.
It's a squash.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit the F5 early, and then
I like that.
That was
smart,
going.
though.
Yeah, it was good because it rocked. Yeah, it rocked John back on his. By the way, with the German I like the 4-man German announce table that they had there, and now they have a 2-man German announce table at Raw and at SmackDown.
Why?
It's not going away.
Do Germans really like wrestling?
I guess so. Or maybe
they were talk. Maybe
they just want another announce table to break, but they haven't had another announce team on TV like on a Raw show in years. I remember they only have like the Spanish table for like pay-per-views and that sort of thing. So
they had a French Canadian one in '97.
They had a they had a French one at WrestleMania 30. They had a Spanish table and a French table and an English table. Remember they used to do those pay-per-views and they'd have like 2 different tables. It'd be like Taz and Cole and then JR and King. And they'd be like sitting on opposite ends of the arena.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because Raw used to did the WCW thing where they were up by the entrance.
Did the Nitro thing, yeah.
Which was bold, man. That was a bold move back then.
Oh yeah, it was interesting. You know, now that the brand extension is kind of gone, I guess that era is really forgotten about. But I remember, like, I'm watching older matches from like the let's say the 02 to 2010 era. You know, and they still make such a big deal out of both shows being so different. It's like, yeah, these SmackDown fans, like, they don't care about the show. They just care that there's seeing wrestling.
SmackDown fans who are only SmackDown fans.
I only watch SmackDown. I ignore everything that's happening on Monday Night Raw. I would never watch that show. I'm a SmackDown guy, you know. Even though these characters,
SmackDown was way better than Raw back then.
I only watched Velocity.
It was more wrestling. It was more wrestling centric.
And then Confidential, right?
Yeah, Velocity. Yeah. What else? There's Heat, Velocity, Confidential.
Jacked was predated. Jacked and Metal both predated Velocity.
Shotgun Saturday Night, that predated, predated everything.
Those, yeah.
Predated a lot of them. There was I don't know. There's a bunch of shows.
I like Velocity. It was a good show.
Velocity was weird. Yeah, it was a good show to watch on Saturday night. You can watch Ultimo Dragon in his WWE run against Jamie Noble, who's now one of the guys.
There were some good matches there.
Jamie Noble now is one of the guys in suits that runs out and separates wrestlers.
SO's Joey Mercury.
Joey Mercury.
He should pull out the trailer hitch sometime. I would love that. some guy, he's just in a suit, but he's like, "You can't change me. Do my submission to you. Talk about Nidia."
I'm just glad to see Jamie Noble with a job. I'm happy for the guy. I guess he's a road agent or something. Working up and down the road there. Yeah. And SummerSlam next year is going to be in New York, probably at the Meadowlands. JR was guessing. I don't know if that's going to be at MetLife or not. I don't know if they can, because WrestleMania is in a stadium every year, but it's probably 90% of the people aren't from that town. They come from Europe or they come from other parts of the country.
Have they ever released the numbers on that? Because I am curious about
on where they're from.
Did you just say MetLife and the Meadowlands are two different places because they're the same arena?
No, the same. Yeah, no, I meant. So I meant like if it was like a Meadow, I meant MetLife Stadium, but I meant like JR says like a Meadowlands. I thought there was a Meadowlands Arena or something, but what is it? The Allstate Arena, I think, is in New Jersey. Izod Center, yeah, something weird like that. Where the
where the Devils play.
The Devils play, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that might because I'll reiterate, they lose money when they broadcast a show from Madison Square Garden. That's why they only do like Saturday night house shows there.
Is that true?
That's true.
How is that true? How is that possible?
Because the taxes they have to pay to broadcast the show. There's like New York film and tax. It's like the opposite of a tax incentive that a city like Vancouver would give out.
Leave us alone.
Well, for the privilege to shoot in New York City, you have to pay this premium or whatever.
Privilege. Yeah. Oh wait, was that the thing that those? I remember I want to say like 10, maybe not 10, 8 years ago, there's some independent filmmakers were like, you're making it really hard for us to shoot anything in New York anymore, New York, so please stop that.
Yeah, that could be entirely the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, brother.
No, I believe that.
It's got to be in New Jersey anyway, because if you say, oh, we're coming to New York, New Jersey, like New York/New Jersey next year, you're like, well, then
the only reason you'd mention
the only reason you'd mention it is if you were there.
But I think if they were doing it, if they planned to do it at MetLife, they would have advertised that.
They probably don't have it confirmed.
Yeah.
It's a year away.
Well, sorry, there's a Giants preseason game that day. We can't make it.
The Jets preseason, even better reason.
Yeah, even better reason. So at some point, I do want to do a breakdown of the NFL divisions. I think that would be fun, but we'll do that closer to the regular season. I got a draft next. Oh, that's why I need a Monday off. I got a draft Monday the 1st. September 1st. I'm drafting that.
Can I ask
fantasy football?
I have a fantasy question. You can do football or hockey. I gotta ask your opinions, guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, if someone contacts you and they say, "Hey," and I'll be honest, this is not hypothetical. This happened to me.
Yeah,
they said, "Hey, I got a player here that I know you like, and I want to trade him to you after this preseason game this week." And what happens if not even like 2 days after that, this person just traded it to somebody else without talking to you? What do you do then? That's what are you doing, man?
So they offered you a guy, said they traded him to you, and then traded him to someone else
without talking to me at all.
Yeah, you break their kneecaps.
So nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
sometimes you got to
send
step up to
somebody
the
in,
man and break
you
their
send them a
kneecaps.
message.
Yeah.
No horse head, nothing like that. You just go in there and you break their kneecaps.
Yeah, you got to go full
I
Seagal.
feel better with this already.
That's what I
You
was
feel
doing
better.
anyway.
Full
That's just me. I
Seagal.
don't know. I'm not really
Happy
big into
Endings
fantasy
reference.
football, so that's pretty much as far as I would go. But
Well, we all compete in the same fantasy hockey league. And fantasy hockey is going to start up sometime in October.
we did. I don't think I'm doing hockey this year.
What? No, you have to.
You're gonna miss out on.
We're going to call you
Too
out
Fast,
on this
Too
show.
Furious.
We're going to call you out on this show. I started out awesome last year, fantasy hockey, man. I was on fire because of.
Stay the same. I didn't like the head-to-head either. That was kind of dumb.
Because of Alex
and we
Steen.
made so many categories.
They got injured.
Yeah.
Penalty minutes. Dumb category. He's got more penalty
well,
minutes
the thing
than
is,
this
too,
guy.
we made.
Yeah, what are you doing, everyone? Penalty minutes are dumb.
Yes, but we made it so we're like, well, it can't be 10 because then they can tie. So we'll make it like 13, so it's uneven, and then there won't be ties. But then you just tied categories, and then it didn't matter. So it got, I don't know, it was dumb. I didn't like the head-to-head.
Yeah, I might take time off from fantasy sports for the rest of my life soon.
Well,
Nah, I
I
love
have
fantasy
turned
football.
down. I used to do 2 fantasy football leagues, and I've turned down 1, and I'm still going to continue to do the one I've done since high school. Not a lot of things I've done since high school, except for maybe shower regularly. But
Good on you for that, by the way.
No, you're welcome.
We were worried about it for a little while.
Hey, it's
Some
not,
friends
it's not
of
a
mine
podcast
have,
that you can smell.
Have
you
a
can
pretty
hear it.
intense one.
How so?
Just a pretty intense fantasy league, like a pretty high buy-in, and they just made like an official championship belt for their fantasy football league. It's pretty sick.
What's the?
I saw that
buy-in?
tweeted.
I'd
I
like to see
saw
who it
Belt
is.
I won't
tweeted, which
say.
is crazy.
You won't say? Is it
No.
more than $100?
I won't say.
Is it more
Just
than
wink. Just Alex. Just
$200?
wink audibly if it's more than $100.
I can't wink audibly.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
either
can do
did
the
or did
point.
not just wink. So you take your call on that. I'm not going to tell you.
I have a
Doesn't
feeling.
matter.
I have
Anyway,
a
do it off
feeling
the
you
air?
did.
The point is,
I have
the
a feeling you
championship
did.
belt is pretty insane looking.
Oh.
Pretty nice looking. Like, it just looks like you'd be like, oh, that's a wrestling belt. Oh my god, it says fantasy football champion. So okay.
Yeah, I saw this league. It was like a belt and a trophy, like a Lombardi looking trophy,
The Shiva.
which should be very cool. But that then sports ain't starting up for a while, so I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. And until
Anyway, I almost
then,
got into that fantasy league this year, but then I didn't. They took a vote. I didn't
because you couldn't afford the more than
Took a
$100
vote?
buy-in.
no,
You
because
took a
I
vote.
don't know.
It's democratic. It should be a
That's very democratic.
dictatorship.
That's all right.
Alex, would you do a Premiership fantasy league?
No.
None of those exist.
No,
What, you're just missing that out of hand. I want to know why.
I don't want to. I like fantasy
Doesn't interest
football, and let's just leave it at that. Fantasy football, and I like fantasy tennis. But other than that, no, I don't do that.
Back in the day, I
How
did.
about last
interest.
year for fantasy golf?
I did
was like,
fantasy-
golf can't exist.
I
Right?
did fantasy NASCAR. There was also fantasy Survivor Pick'em. At one point, I think I was playing like every major sports
Head-to-head
league, fantasy
Survivor.
sports.
Well, my
The Survivor
office used to
Pick'em.
have my office used to have a survivor pool, but you just would pick names out of a hat. There was no way to know. Like, you couldn't be like, oh, I'm taking this person. You just pick a name. If they won, you won money, and if they didn't, you did.
That's fair.
Yeah, I thought I lost you guys for a second on that. It was just so silent.
No,
for a
it's
second.
okay.
I was like, they're gone.
Oh
You
man,
blew it.
that belt looks cool.
Yeah, man, I just texted you a picture of the belt, by the way.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at it.
I
I'm
don't
gonna look
know
at it before the
why
podcast.
that
Let me
man-
describe it.
That
owns
terrible
the
jersey.
Pittsburgh
That terrible
Steelers
jersey.
Oh, that is a sin. That is a gorgeous belt. though.
jailbreak
Yeah,
jerseys.
like that's a
That is
legit
really nice.
championship belt. There's fantasy football champion on it.
It's
And
kind of
the
it's kind of shaped
SFL.
like
Where
a
do-
fat ticket.
where do you
Like
go
a
to
fat
get that
rack.
You know who's in
commissioned?
this? You know who's in this league? UFC fighter TJ Grant is in the fantasy league.
Oh, there you go. Is he any good?
I don't know. I'm not in it. Thanks for rubbing that in.
I know wrestler, former Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, is a big fantasy football guy. I don't know if he still does his radio show, Fourth and Awesome, but he's a big fantasy guy. He likes playing it. This time of year, I've been watching some preseason games, and I've actually been changing the channel when the commercials come on because I know that those commercials are going to be drilled into my head until January.
Yeah,
I
it's terrible.
They're very entertaining, but football takes so many expletive commercial breaks It's like, all right, and here's the extra point, and it's good. All right, I'm coming back for the kickoff. All right, folks, we're back here. Kickoff, and it's up, and he's taking a knee for a touchback. All right, we'll be right back.
We'll be back.
All right, here we are. And, fumble, and he's running out of bounds, and we'll be right back. Like, so many commercials. It drives me crazy. It makes me hate television. I think, but, hey.
If only your money didn't come from that device.
Well, no, it goes into that device, sir. I pay for my cable. I pay for my TV.
I know, but you're also...
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying.
I know.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I feel you.
Well, did you go
dollar coins.
To go back what we started off the podcast with, did you contribute to If I Stay's box office?
Hell no, got for free. No, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to, and I'm going to watch Sin City: Deemed to Kill for it because it was, Alex, on your list of. Never mind, we'll talk about it next week when we do our kind of summer movie season wrap up.
Oh, let me close that down.
This was honestly probably the worst summer movie season to cover that topic.
Well, okay, sorry, we should have canceled it right away. Also, our summer.
I feel good about
but I'm just saying, like, there was no like surprises. It was just like all bombs.
Well,
yeah,
no, you're right.
The whole box office underperformed. Is all I'm.
Looks like no, you're absolutely right. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy is going to come out at as the winner, which is very very interesting because it was quite a dark horse.
Wait. Winner of what?
Of the most of highest box office,
most money ever.
No, it's
Transformers
past
it. No, it hasn't. Worldwide?
No, not worldwide.
No,
there's no way it's worldwide.
Okay, the headline on BoxOfficeMojo.com here on Monday morning says Guardians becomes biggest movie of the summer. So
biggest movie of the summer.
That's what I'm going by.
I
think it
says
I always
domestically
it
says, Suck it, Matt Vaughn. Guardians of the Galaxy is the biggest.
It does say Suck it, Matt Vaughn. That's so weird.
Oh, what?
Weird.
Hold on, I gotta see. It does. What is this, you guys?
Also, to continue our summer story series, how many stories did we get out of the summer story series?
We did one each. That's the whole gist of it.
Oh, we only have one story? That wasn't my best story. What did I talk about?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I thought we were going to talk more stories.
Oh, it was when I hurt my knee. Anybody got a story? I don't really have a story. Well, I have a lot of stories, but none of them are fit for this show. I'm going to do my my very blue single threat podcast coming out next week. By the way, the MTV VMAs were last night, and congratulations to Kanye West. For what? I don't know. He did something. I don't know. I'm sure he's got something, is all I'm going to say. What can I tell a story about?
It's not I
went. No. Is it an I went? No. I could. No, it wasn't that.
No.
I have. No, I don't want that.
Oh, my God.
I was. No, I don't want to do that. I can't. No, I don't want to talk about that either. A lot of different categories. Well, everybody, thanks for listening this week.
Okay, look. Okay, I gotta talk about this. Okay,
Ooh.
Guardians of the Galaxy, as of when we're recording this, which is some fictional time frame, $489 million. $489 million worldwide.
International.
Domestic, though.
Yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, okay. I know you're okay. Well, you shouldn't because the
You
world doesn't stop with the U.S. You shouldn't because Transformers. Guess what that made? $1.065 billion. Like it's not even half. You can't say with any confidence like, Box Office Mojo, you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm just going by the
Box Office Mojo.
I'm going by the headline on BoxOfficeMojo.com, and there's an interesting article on Crack.com that I read the other day about how the movie Waterworld ruined the movie industry for years to come. And that's the recommended read of the week. Hey, a new feature, recommended read of the week. Crack.com, why Waterworld ruined movies. And that's very interesting. And it speaks as to why internationally these big action movies do so well is because there's not as much talking. And the talking isn't important, which is where you lose an international audience if you need to have subtitles. You know, that's why the biggest Chinese movie of all time out here in North America was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't remember any lines of dialogue from that, but it had some cool-looking action, and that's why it was so successful. Because visually, people could, respond to it. That's another story for another day. That's the recommended reading for this week, folks. And I don't know, this is long enough. Triple Threat Podcast is brought to you by Amazon. If you're doing Amazon shopping, we don't have a link, but use somebody's
That'd be nice
link.
if we did, though.
Use Steve. How do we get that? Well, I guess we got to be good first.
It's
Amazon?
the river, though, not the website, right? We're sponsored by the Amazon River.
It's sponsored by the Amazon River.
Let's cut that
shop
short. Don't cut
along
that
that
short,
river.
guys.
Bring some bug spray because they got some nasty mosquitoes out there. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at William C. Vaughn. Lots of exciting stuff going on there. It's the best, hottest Twitter feed out. And Alex, where can we find you?
I didn't think of a good one to come up with. I'm at Evonix, EVAUGHANICS.
There you go. And Matt?
I am at MP Vaughn, MPVAUGHAN.
I didn't talk with you on that one because I didn't know how you were going to say it.
Thanks.
All right,
That's not going to go well.
that's the
Clearly, I'll stop
Triple
spelling
Threat
out
podcast this week.
my thing. Okay, I get it.
No, it's fine.
I get it.
If you don't, I'll do it for you. That's Triple Threat Podcast this week, the Seat of Our Pants podcast, where we tried to stay on topic and failed. We're man enough to admit that. Check us out on Twitter, and don't be afraid to send us suggestions, Mom. I know we're going to get a big, tersely worded email this week. And we're sorry we're
No,
such
you won't. Why?
disappointments in her eyes. She's going to be so mad when she reads that or hears it.
She'll be mad
Next
now.
week,
She was fine up to
we'll
this point.
give you the summer movie wrap-up. And we go back to our early picks. Well, yeah, I love her too. You don't have to... Look, you're the favorite, okay? We've established that.
Oh, good. You're coming back from whatever planet you were on, and you actually sound normal now.
Okay, so you guys sounded weird there too. So I don't know how this is going to sound when we actually release the show.
It's going to sound fine. Both of you sounded fine just there.
Okay. Well,
just there. But previously you guys sounded like you were talking under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. That's a David Bowie song. So next week we're going to give you the summer movie wrap-up where we will discuss the 3 movies that we each picked, and hopefully that'll fill time.
Let's not do that.
Well, we're definitely going to, especially since you don't want to do that. Thank you very much for listening. Give us some love on iTunes. Like, subscribe, download. Tell your friends because word of mouth is the best way to get this around. If you like it, great. If you don't, then listen to us ironically, you hipsters. Listen to it and be like, oh, these guys have a show and they think they're so good, but it really sucks. I listen to it every week just so I can laugh at how stupid they all are. Yeah, well, I'm calling myself out right now. I am stupid. Now you can't like me because I'm ironic about myself. I don't know. I maybe... okay. Music should be starting about now. There it is. Love that song. And again, thanks. Do something nice for somebody. And keep fit and have fun.
Yeah, do that. Matt, this is done now, right?
Yes.